Our next speaker is known to many of us. Before I mention his name, I'll say a little bit about him. He hails from a family that has been devoted to Swami for nearly half a century. Brother Aravind Balasubramanya. He's a Sai alumni, a gold medalist, I might add, and has spoken in Swami's divine presence on multiple occasions. Aravind also had the unique opportunity to be Swami's photographer, which continues to this day, as we saw this morning as he was taking pictures of Swami here in Sai Premnalium. Aravind writes blogs, he's written books, he speaks on Swami at Swami's bidding, but he wishes to be known as Swami's storyteller. That is his desire. What a noble desire. I can't wait to hear your message to all of us, Brother Aravind. Please come and take the stage.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan, dearest Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters. 100 years ago, a tiny little river flowed past several villages. One among those villages was an insignificant, obscure village which would decades later be described as being a stone's throw from Stone Age. What the river did not know, that in a few years from now, there would be a positive explosion of love, grace, and service that would happen nearby, because God had chosen that village to be blessed. Yes, I am speaking of the river Chitravati and the blossoming of NILAYAM. 100 years later, it is with great joy, thrill, that I feel I've been blessed to witness a similar miracle. Whether it is by the side of the river or at riverside, whether it is NILAYAM or Premnalium, it is that Sai, the divinity, that power that has blossomed. Honestly, the first time I entered this place, technically it was not yet fully done. There was a lot of work happening, and yet, even as I relive the moment, you get emotional. Look at Swami. Look at the magnificence. And this is not just physical beauty. This is the glory and beauty of love. Because behind this, there has been the loving service of thousands of hearts, publicly, privately, known, unknown, in the foreground, in the background, and all that love has filled in this altar, and that is what radiates to us. And this is yet another miracle of love. No wonder we call it Sai Premnalium. If at all there is any message, one word message from Swami's life, it is this love. I would often wonder, just imagine if you were God. Well, Swami tells us we are God, but since we don't believe it, suppose we imagine, I used to imagine, suppose I am God, and I have decided that I want to transform the world. Where will I take birth? Possibly I'll take birth in America, right? It's the most powerful planet. Which family will I take birth? I'll possibly choose a family which maybe will give birth to the president of the American nation, because he's considered the most powerful. That is, if I choose to be born in the 20th century. If I chose to be born possibly in 2 AD, maybe I would want to be born in the family of the most powerful emperor of the times. Because to change the world, we need a lot of power, we need a lot of resources, we need a lot of influence. That is how the human mind thinks. When God actually chose, He chose a nondescript village. And this I'm talking of history. History is His story. His story repeats itself. Every time God chose to come, He chooses the most nondescript places, the most poor families who can't afford a square meal. Why? Because God comes to show that the greatest resource that we need to have is that of pure love. Just ensure that you have pure love, everything will come and come. And yet again, Sai Premnalium is another standing testimony to the power of pure love. As long as we have love, everything else will come. And that's why it is so beautiful that the first event at this hallowed premises is a conference on love and service. What to say of service? All of us would have witnessed that in Swami's presence, whenever a program would get completed, he would bless prasadam, sweets, whatever, to be distributed to the devotees. So there would be some students who would take up those vessels containing the prasadam. Swami will bless all of them and tell distribute it. And the students would go distributing it. If you would have noticed, only the students would distribute it. That was a special privilege for the students. On one occasion, Swami asked, "Do you know why I tell my students to distribute this?" Swami, to give them a chance. To give students a chance is the smallest among the reasons. Swami said, a point of time will come in all of their lives when nobody can help them. And they will have to seek me out. And at that time, I can remember that they have done this service for me. And in lieu of this service, I can bless them with infinite grace to solve whatever problem they are in. That is the magic of serving in the name of God, When we do distribution of food as prasadam, as sanctified offering from God that we are giving others, its impact is multifold. Swami would say, every little act done in the name of God gives you 100 times the benefit. Well, the silent disclaimer there in small letters like mutual fund is subject to market risk is that, remember that every bad deed done in the name of God will get you 100 times the negative impact too. And that is where this international conference comes as a great opportunity to all of us. All of us have been blessed to get some duty or the other here. This is akin to that prasadam distribution. Let me tell you a story. As I said, I love to be Swami's storyteller and I'm a collector of stories. This is a person who doesn't want to be identified, so I'll just call him Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar was, a servant in the National Thermal Power Corporation. NTPC is a large public sector enterprise in India. Thermal plants it owns. And in Madhya Pradesh, where he was a servant. He was serving in the houses of many people. One among them was a Krishnan uncle, certain Krishnan uncle. I call him Krishnan uncle, a devotee of Bhagwan. So one day, Ramesh comes up to Krishnan uncle and says, "I'm not able to see clearly, there's some problem." So Krishnan uncle takes him to a doctor and they find out that he's suffering from a rare disease, a rare problem, which would require surgery immediately, within the next 1 year. Otherwise, his sight could get affected. And when they find out, the cost of the surgery is exorbitant. Forget Kumar, the servant, being able to afford it. Krishnan uncle himself was doubting whether I will be able to afford the surgery. So what to do? Krishnan uncle tells him, "Listen, we hold bhajans at our home every Thursday. Why don't you come for bhajans?" Now, a drowning man, they say, clasps at straws that are floating on the surface of the water. Kumar had no hope of any other treatment and he thought, okay, this is a well-wisher. He said, okay, I'll come for bhajans. Every Thursday I'll come home for bhajans. There is a reason why Krishnan uncle told him come home for bhajans. I'll come to that. Now, it so happened that Kumar started attending bhajans at Krishnan uncle's home every Thursday. And he noticed that the degradation in his eyes had stopped. Not that he got better, but it stopped degrading. And he was very happy with that itself. So, okay, my eyes have stopped degrading now. So, attending bhajans, one good thing you get into, it leads to more and more. That is the positive spiraling effect. Within 2 months, Kumar was an active participant in service and seva activities being done there. He would go distribute food, he would go in distributing clothes, he would go and attend medical camps. He just became part of that. And Krishna uncle was very happy. Now, as I said, why did Krishna uncle tell him to come for bhajans? In 1991, when Bhagwan inaugurated the world's first tertiary care hospital that would provide care absolutely free of cost, in remote Puttaparthi, where experts said that hygienic treatment is not possible here. Incidentally, this hospital has completed 3 decades of service. But when Swami set up that hospital for the poor people, everybody came there for treatment. In fact, the different state presidents of the different states in India, anybody who approaches saying this medical problem, go to Puttaparthi, go to the hospital. Soon, long lines, waiting lists. One day, Swami called all these office bearers for an interview and he told them, listen, because this hospital is here, all of you are sending all the patients here. And then the hospital is unable to take in that number. So those people now end up in the mandir. And they start praying to me to cure them. I'm happy to do that. But all of you, before sending them here, tell them to do little service and then send. Because then, I can look at the service they have done and based on that I can bless them with grace. See, I get overwhelmed because our Lord, is so loving and kind. He tells also, you do this, I'll be happy, I'll bless you with grace. He spoon feeds us. Bangaru, you do this. Bangaru, you do that, I will give grace, like a teacher leaking the questions in an exam paper, like that he is. And because of that, the state president of Madhya Pradesh back then, Mr. Sachdeva, he had gone and called all the district president and other office bearers, that going down to the grassroots, that effect had happened. And he had told everybody, so if anybody comes, don't come to me. You tell them to do seva and then bring them to me. Because then I will tell them to do seva and take them to Swami, So that's what it is, right? And that had percolated to Krishnan uncle. And Krishnan uncle had therefore told Kumar, you go and do some bhajan, at least, and then seva. This went on for 8 months. Now, medically, he has got just another 3-4 months within which the surgery must be done. Otherwise, it might get to a position where they can't do anything. So now, Krishnan uncle's wife said, no, it's okay. He's doing bhajan, seva, everything. His eyes, the problem is still there. Don't forget that. And Krishnan uncle was going on thinking, yeah, what should I do? What should I do? And his birthday came. And on Krishnan uncle's birthday, his friend Raghunath, calls him, childhood friend. Suddenly, out of the blue, he has got his number, calls him. And oh, very nice, happy birthday wishes, they exchange. And coincidentally, Raghunath is working for one of the top eye hospitals in India. And in the conversation, he happens to mention that this eye hospital he has got a quota wherein some operations can be done free of charge. Does Krishnan uncle want anything? Krishnan uncle says, yes, you can give me a birthday gift. I have Kumar. 1 month later, Kumar is back. Kumar is back with his eyes, all fine, operation successful, freely done. And he comes and tells Krishna uncle, thank you for teaching me the power of service. I am going to do this service always. And I am going to tell everyone around, do service, because service solves all your problems. I don't know if Krishna uncle believed in that as much till that point when that happened, but that is what it is. Seva. Seva is the Sanskrit word for service. And seva, incidentally or coincidentally, is an anagram for save. Seva saves. You do seva, it will save you automatically. That is the power of service. And that is why I say we have got this opportunity. Whether we are speakers, panelists, workshop attendees, whether we are serving in the kitchen. Swami would give the example of Krishna during the Rajasuya Yagna. He said, I want to lift the used plates of the devotees, or not of the devotees, of the people who are attending the yagna. Because that has a lot of, the Lord does every activity to show us the path. There is no small, no big. There is no need for anyone to recognize. You know, dear brothers and sisters, I must confess, when I do something good, right, my heart knows I have done good. If I get appreciation for it, I actually feel a little bad. Ayyo. Because you know what? God has different ways of appreciating. And human appreciation is the least level. No need, Swami, because you give me the gift. I want the gift from you. And when God gives, my God, it's just so beautiful. And that is the opportunity we have got. We have got the opportunity to do our service in some small way. I will conclude with one episode from the Indian epic, the Mahabharata. It is a very famous episode wherein the wife of the 5 Pandavas, Draupadi, is pulled into open court and an attempt is made to disrobe her. You know, this is what is done, and everybody knows what happens. What happens is, as she is being disrobed, she is helpless. She folds her hand. You know, one more interesting, beautiful point over here. She is fighting the man who is trying to disrobe her. Okay? But you look at all the paintings of that episode, Draupadi disrobing episode, you will see Draupadi has just let go. Because she has let God in. She just tells Krishna, you only protect me. She surrenders totally. And then the story goes that when Draupadi calls out like this, Krishna instantly hears her prayer and he thinks, what has Draupadi done for me? What has she done? And then Krishna remembers, at one point in time, when I was cutting sugarcane, I cut my finger. And it started bleeding. When it starts bleeding, Krishna has so many queens, right? All the queens run to get Savlon, Dettol, whatever was the antiseptic back then. You know? But Draupadi immediately tears her silk sari. You heard it? A woman tearing a sari, a woman tearing a silk sari. Doesn't happen. She tears her silk sari and ties it, bandages Krishna's finger immediately. And all this comes to Krishna's mind in a moment. And he says, yes, Draupadi gave me sari. I must give her sari. How much sari did Draupadi give? 2 inches. And how much did Krishna give? A Guinness Book of World Records it was. And that, because that is how God is called Bhola, meaning innocent. Because that is how God is. He doesn't measure, He doesn't count. Hey, He has helped. He has done my work, I will do. That's it. That's it. That is why this is a great opportunity. I view the Sri Sathya Sai International Conference as an investment opportunity. It's an opportunity to invest little bit of love, little bit of service, and then take that back to our respective countries. Because let this be like, a place where we derive inspiration, where we derive the joy and carry that flame of God back to our countries and continue doing it. Because as every financial advisor will say, investment is not a one-time business. You have to do systematic investment plan, SIP, irrespective of the market ups and downs. This is what, when you listen to a financial advisor and remove the money part, you will think it's Bhagavad Gita coming. Because he will tell that. Don't care about the ups and downs. Keep doing, keep putting, and don't worry about the results. You will be good. Bhagavad Gita, finance. That's all it is. So far, the financial advisors have been stealing the Bhagavad Gita. Through this conference, let us steal all these financial investment techniques and make the most beautiful investment. Because, as Swami would say, we have this practice of when we serve food, we keep a plate of food for God right in the beginning. What happens to that plate? It comes back to us as prasad, sanctified. We all partake it. Just think of it, dear brothers and sisters, the food that we serve to anybody, we are left with soiled plates and leaves. But what we give to God comes back to us. Every bit of love, every bit of service that we do with the world in mind, we are left behind with soiled plates. But every bit done for God, it comes back to us. And the beautiful thing is it comes back to us when we need it the most. Dear Swami, every moment of our life, may our love for you keep growing stronger and stronger. And may this conference be a wonderful opportunity where we grow in our love and service to you. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.